are about promoting your own health and being a good caregiver. What does health mean to you? In order to take care of other people, you have to take care of yourself as well. So being the best person that you can be is going to let you be more capable of taking care of others. Health is more than just the absence of disease. There are many factors that are involved with good health. There are a number of reasons why we have healthy lifestyles, healthy choices, things that we do for ourselves. Some things are modifiable and some things are not. Some things are related to genetics, like family history. Your health is dependent upon your family history. Sometimes you inherit bad genes from your family. Your economic status can make you either be able to afford health care or not. And then having good nutrition, if you're able to afford good food or not. And then how you exercise. And that is a modifiable choice. We choose to exercise. The health is more than just the absence of a disease again. It means staying drug-free, avoiding alcohol and tobacco use, avoiding illegal drugs. Everywhere you work, you're going to be drug screened. So don't use medicines that aren't prescribed to you. Using sunscreens, making sure you're using sun safety so you don't get sun cancer. Wearing a seatbelt for car safety. Having safe sex and wearing condoms and not getting STDs. And then managing your stress. All of these are different parts and factors of having preventative health care, making sure that you are doing wise choices to make yourself healthy. Maintaining a positive attitude, knowing about stress management, seeing a healthcare provider regularly, having a primary care provider that you can go to for annual screenings to help prevent chronic illnesses. Heeding the early warning signs of cancer. We already talked about those in the anatomy chapter. If you feel a lump or bump or something's oozing or not healing or a chronic cough, get it checked out. This is the oldest living couple. They were married for 85 years. But the most important factor for them when they were interviewed about living a long and healthy life was having a healthy attitude and having good nutrition and good exercise. Okay, so that's important to live a healthy life. Developing a positive attitude. A healthy attitude begins with a good outlook on life. It's easier to have a positive attitude when you're well rested. So you need to have at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night to feel good about yourself. Try to follow these principles about every day. Think about how important you are to yourself and how important you are to others. Everybody has a reason to live. Everybody has something to be grateful for. But you need to maintain a cheerful attitude. It can be contagious, and so can a bad attitude or a poor attitude. But life is short, so live it accordingly. Be open-minded to other people's points of view. Stay calm when things get hectic. Know how to deal with crisis. Know how to deal with stress. Know what helps you deal with stress and crisis. Think about different situations before you respond to them. Don't get yourself worked up over something that you can't change. Okay. Developing your positive attitude means being compassionate, being caring, emphasizing that the glass is half full. Accept yourself without judgment. You are your worst judgment, okay? Be the best that you can be. Reach your goals. Strive for some goals. Set some goals for yourself and accomplish them. Take charge of your life. If you don't like your life, change your life. But if you are having any suicidal ideations, get help. You can always go to a nurse, your charge manager. You can come to me. You can talk to somebody if you're having issues or concerns, okay? My friend likes to do vision boards. There's one over there on the wall where you visualize what you want and you work to achieve it. It's always great to have goals in life, goals for where you want to be in 5 years or what you want to do when you grow up. Or it's never too late to go back to school. It's never too late to learn a new profession. It's never too late to learn a new hobby or a new craft or something that's going to help you with stress management. Always have good nutrition. We talked about this with the chapter with the resident patients, but also for yourself. Make sure you are eating from all of the food groups. Make sure you have a healthy plate. Use the food group plate. Go on the website. Make yourself a diet plan. Get good nutrition. Eat a variety of meals. Don't skip meals. Don't leave out certain food groups. Maintain an appropriate body weight so that you aren't overweight or underweight or you're having health issues yourself because of your weight. And then don't skip meals, but also don't eat too much with each meal. If you need help with a nutritionist, you can ask. You can get free help online. The mypyramid.gov will help you make meal plans. Pick foods from all your major meal groups. ChooseMyPlate.gov has some information about eating healthy meals, getting plenty of vegetables, fruits, and grains. You need all those vitamins that come in those healthy food groups. Use sugar and salt sparingly and only in moderation. And if you drink alcohol, do so in moderation. If you smoke, try to quit. If you do illicit drugs, you definitely need to quit. But you can get help for that. So you need to seek treatment or rehab, professional help for those kind of issues. If you're having depression or if you're having suicidal ideations, there's always a counselor that's available for you to speak with. Okay, this next little video is just a little parody about good health.
An apple a day is not enough. Don't let me start preaching. But shouldn't the children of the country that's the wealthiest also be the children of the country that's the healthiest? That makes sense. You'd think that would be true. I know I would. I'm just saying, wouldn't you? But that's not the case with our kids these days. Kids' health is declining in all kinds of ways. We need to improve it. We can, and we will. But it starts with thinking of health as a skill. A 21st century skill that you practice. Practice makes perfect. The unhealthy can't hack this. We've got to teach our kids by example every day. And it's tough because people stop listening when they think they know what you're going to say, like drink more water, eat more vegetables, especially the dark leafy green ones, eat less sugar, don't drink soda, especially the sugary caffeine ones, stop watching TV, go play outside, go for a run or a walk or a bike ride, get your heart rate up every day of the week, chew your food more, eat slower, meditate, sit still, get your heart rate lower. Set yourself a health goal. It doesn't have to be wild. It takes a lot of things to raise a healthy child. And healthy kids do better in school. They have better jobs. They lead better lives. They marry healthier husbands and healthier wives. Good health is a skill, and teachers need to teach it. Now you've got me preaching, so I might as well preach it. Health is not a one-semester class you take in middle school. It should be a part of every subject, not the exception, but the rule. Learn about good health in math, in English, and in social studies. Work on a project about nutrition and science with your buddies. And parents need to be involved too. Teachers can't do this alone. Good health starts at home. We need to own this issue because the stakes are high. What does it matter if we try to increase our scores in math and reading if scores are dying before their time because they got fatter and fatter? Healthy students make wealthy earners, not to mention better learners. The choices you make every day have the biggest impact in the biggest of ways. Check it. Why else would they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away? But new solutions to old problems, that's the American way. Who cares about keeping the water clean and pure? There isn't a problem if they can't sell you the cure. Don't keep looking for new technology to be your medical savior. Of course, it's easier to be saved by a miracle than it is to change your behavior. So we need to value health education the way we value math and reading. We can't keep feeding our children the same old lessons like junk food full of saturated fat, sugar, and chemicals. We can't do better than that. We can and we will. And that's the truth because the future belongs to the healthy youth. Amen.
Okay, so we just all need to be good role models. Think about how you can take care of yourself and then be a good role model for your children as well. But health requires exercise. Good health, exercise, and movement is vital to life. We talked about that a lot with our residents and patients. There are two basic kinds of exercise. Every day you need to be getting aerobic exercise. This is oxygen exercise that requires oxygen. Even if you go and walk around the block for 30 minutes a day, you are helping your body provide oxygen to all of your cells. Low-grade, steady activity that increases your heart rate, like swimming or walking or jogging or cycling. Just get out and walk around. Intentionally walking for 30 minutes or getting your 10,000 steps in a day. Anaerobic exercise is exercise that is helping with your muscles. So you still need weight-bearing exercises to help your muscles and your bones, especially as you age, so they don't become brittle and break when you fall or when you try to lift up a resident. So anaerobic exercise are short exercises like lifting and weight-bearing, weightlifting or sprinting or something that's just a weight exercise. So just some light weights, even if you're only lifting a 5-pound weight with repetitive motion 10 times. It's still giving you weight-bearing exercise that's going to help with your muscles and your bones. Increasing your strength in your muscles helps you to maintain flexibility, maintain movement, improves your coordination, improves your self-image, helps to reduce weight, and then makes it so that you're not hurting yourself when you're trying to help the residents move. It increases your circulation. It helps to reduce tension. So people need to exercise and stay healthy. Your lifestyle changes with drinking plenty of water. Just like you're offering the residents water every day, you need to be drinking water. The rule is half your body weight in ounces of water per day, up to 100 ounces. But usually we're drinking about 1,500 to 2,000 cc's of water a day. Okay? Snack on fruits and vegetables and pretzels instead of candy and sugar and gummy bears. Take a lunch instead of ordering fast food or eating Chinese. Begin your exercise routine, but do something that's attainable. Do something that you're going to be able to stick with. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park at the end of the parking lot and walk to the building. Go for a walk at lunch. Get some team members together and go for walks around the building at lunchtime. Okay? Your lifestyle changes with smoking, with drinking. If you smoke, don't try to quit. There's a free website of the smoking for the smokefree.gov that will help you with quitting nicotine. Nicotine is a drug. It's very addictive. It's hard to quit, but there is availability to get help if you need it. Okay, so read chapter 4 for more ways to make sure you're living a healthy lifestyle. And the next chapter, chapter 26, is going to deal with your job description or your roles of being a successful C.N.A. What's going to be expected of you from your employer? So your job description is a list or a written out thing that tells you what your employer expects you to be able to do. When you go for an interview, you're going to ask them for the job description. And it's going to list out, just like your 6-page checkoff sheet, every skill that you should be able to perform. You're going to be doing your ADLs, your bathing, your dressing, your transferring. If you're expected to draw blood and do phlebotomy, they need to train you on the job for that. Or you need to let them know you don't know how to do that skill. But your job description is what the facility expects you to be able to perform. So when you're going over with them, be honest with them and let them know what you're trained to do. Being a successful employee, make sure you're following your C.N.A. code of conduct that we talked about. Your code of conduct is for every C.N.A., for every healthcare worker in general. It's the ethics that we follow by. Respecting each individual person as an individual. Knowing the limits of your roles and your knowledge. Don't perform any tasks that you don't know how to do. Perform only those tasks that you're within the legal limits of your role, so you are not passing medication. Perform only those tasks that you've been prepared to do. If you need to use some equipment that you've never used before, you need to get checked off on it by the nurse first and then use the equipment. Perform no act that will cause harm to any person. Take drugs only if they're prescribed to you and supervised by a doctor. Carry out the directions and instructions of the nurse to the best of your abilities. Follow the agency's policies and procedures. Complete your tasks safely. Be loyal to your employer and your coworkers. Act as a responsible citizen at all times. Keep the person's information confidential. Protect the person's privacy. Protect the person's property. Consider the person's needs more important than your own. Report any errors or incidences at once and be accountable for your own actions. Make sure when you show up to work your uniform is clean and presentable. You don't look like you just rolled out of bed with cat hair all over you. Be accountable. Be honest. Only call in sick to work when you were really sick. When you call into work and then somebody else has to pick up 5 more patients because you didn't come to work that day. People are not going to respect you if you're not a good team player. Find a balance between work and home, but when it's your responsibility for time to go to work, go to work. Okay? Your home drama stays at home. Your work drama stays at work. Don't bring your drama back and forth. Don't take your phone with you to work and chew out your significant other all day long. Okay? Being well prepared for your state certification and your written exams. You're testing your skills, we're practicing, we're putting in the commitment to do a good job, to know what you're supposed to know, and this whole past few weeks you've been practicing and you're well prepared. You need to review the training program notes, review these videos that we're putting up, get a good night's sleep before the test. You've been studying all along, you don't need to stay up till midnight the night before cramming for anything, okay? Study a little bit each day and get it done. Eat a well-balanced meal before you come and be on time. Answer any questions to the best of your ability. They're all going to be multiple choice, but we're giving you plenty of examples, plenty of review questions, and you should be well prepared. Review all of your skills that are on your skills list. Remember your common preparation steps, your beginning procedures, your ending procedures, and practice, practice, practice. If you need to come in and practice at any time, just call us, let us know, and we'll come in and let you practice. Give yourself time to grow once you start a new job. You're going to be doing in-services on that job. You're going to be doing an orientation period. You're going to learn more things. You're going to learn hands-on. You're going to have experiences, more than just what you had during your clinical rotations. So let other facility members teach you things. Let other C.N.As help you with things. But if you have a specific question, it's best to ask the nurse. If you don't know how to use the equipment, ask the nurse. Okay. Remember to be mindful with your caregiving themes. Remember who your chain of command is. And then make sure you're giving individualized care to each person according to their care plan. Give them dignity. Give them respect. Don't talk to them like they're children. Don't treat them like they're not important. They're the reason you have a job. So you need to treat them with dignity and respect and appreciate that they're there and that you have a job. Your first assignments can be overwhelming. You're going to have to be working on time management skills. If you need help, ask, okay? Know your job description, ask lots of questions, be patient with yourself. You will get into a routine. If you need to write things down, bring a little notepad and write it down so you don't have to keep asking the same questions over and over and over again. If you don't know where the equipment is, ask someone to help you find it. If you don't know how it works, ask someone to show you. Know what your responsibilities are so you don't get fired because you weren't doing your whole job. You're doing your job description, but you also have certain little tasks, like we talked about the night shift. Sometimes you need to clean the equipment, restock things, charge the batteries. On the bottom of the C.N.A. assignment sheet, it'll say what shift needs to do what task. Maybe take out the trash, maybe be in the dining room during meals. Whatever those extra tasks are, you need to know what all of your shift responsibilities are. Have you met the director of nursing? Do you know who the assistant director of nursing is? Get to know the front office staff, not just the people that you work with. And then when you're done for the day, do you feel like you've learned something new about every resident? Every day there's something new to learn about someone that you've cared for that you can carry on to your next day. that you can know their routines and know what works best for them. We talked a lot about communicating effectively, staying motivated on your job. Every place is pretty much the same. You can't keep job hopping from place to place to place to place just because they're offering you 10 cents an hour more. Stay with a company. Make it a better place. Make it a place that you want to work. Don't just quit because you can't get along with anybody. Don't go in and complain about your assignment every time you go to work. Problem resolutions. Know the chain of command. Know who you're supposed to report things to. Deal with conflict appropriately. Talk to the coworker that you're having a problem with. Okay? Most problems can go through the coworker, then go through the charge nurse first. There is a grievance policy. So make sure you know how to deal with that. Know how to deal with different types of people. Know how to take your own personal triggers and know what's going to cause you to get upset. But never argue or threaten or get to the point where you are having a fight at work with a coworker. Okay? Stay calm. Report things to your charge nurse. You are a grown adult with a responsible job. You need to stay assertive, not aggressive. Okay? But don't be passive. Make your wishes known. Assertive means you're taking steps to do what you think is important, but without hurting other people. Aggressive means that you're hurting other people, making them angry. You're usually not accomplishing what's important. And passive means you're not speaking up at all. You're keeping your feelings inside. You're eventually going to explode or you're going to quit because you're done with it. But it doesn't accomplish what's important. So make sure that you're assertive and you're doing things in a good way, not to hurt others and not to hurt yourself. Evaluating your work. Everywhere you work, your supervisor is going to do an evaluation. Once a year, once a quarter, 90-day evaluation. Do you complete all your work that's assigned to you? Do you ask questions? Are the residents comfortable with you? Are your peers comfortable with you? Do you report changes to your nurse? Do you do what you're supposed to be doing? Do your coworkers feel like they can depend on you? Are you a good team player? Do you arrive to work on time? You get write-ups for all of this absenteeisms and tardies and lates and leaving early. You don't want that on your permanent record. You want to be a good employee so that you get a good evaluation. Some places your raises every year are dependent on your evaluation scores. So take the initiative to make sure you know who your supervisor is, who's going to be evaluating you. Make sure they know when you do special tasks or contribute to certain things. They don't have to follow behind you and micromanage you every day, but make sure that they know that you're doing your job appropriately. Ask them if there's any way that you can improve your job. If you have a problem area, how can they help you or how can you help them get it better? And then accept your feedback in a positive way. Nobody likes criticism, but nobody likes to give criticism. So if they give you feedback, take it and do something positive with it. Okay? In-service educations are mandatory. We talked about this in the beginning. If you're working in a long-term care facility, you have to attend these mandatory meetings every month. They give us an opportunity to grow. They teach us about new things. They help keep us informed. So make sure you're doing them with a positive attitude. Stay challenged, stay motivated, pursue more activities or career choices. If you want to go on to LPN school or occupational therapy school or physical therapy school or radiology school, whatever you want to do, you can always keep learning more. You're a valuable employee with the more information that you learn how to do, more skills that you get, more on-the-job training. If you want to help out at the front desk, you need to learn how to get trained for that. If you want to help out with phlebotomy, maybe they can train you. EKGs, doing enteral feeds, doing suppositories, enemas, anything that you need to know or want to know, just ask, and the more efficient way to do it is a hands-on training. Maintaining your C.N.A. license, so you have to work as a paid C.N.A. at least 8 hours every 2 years. It's free to renew your license, and we'll give you the little website to go on to, the www.mmis.georgia.gov. And in the back of your book is the letter that they will mail you or that you will get in an email that says that every 2 years you need to send in this information to renew your license. If you change your name, you need to send in a change of information form. It's all electronic and all online now. We'll help you with that if you need help. Okay, but you have to submit every 2 years a paycheck stub or a letter from a nurse, certified letter that says you worked in a C.N.A. capacity, at least paid for at least 8 hours over the last 2 years. And make sure you keep that up. So there's that website, the mmis.georgia.gov. Okay? If you are quitting a job, you need to be professional and give a 2-week notice. Okay? Don't just leave and abandon your job. If you leave in the middle of a shift and don't tell anybody you're leaving, it's abandonment. That will go on your permanent record and you will not be able to renew your license. Okay, you have to talk to the charge nurse. You can't just up and leave patients lingering with no one to take care of them. So make sure you know how to properly leave a job. Don't burn any bridges because you may need to go back to that job. And never abandon your residents in the middle of a shift. Now, if you get arrested outside of work, it is your responsibility to report that to your employer. But the jail report in Augusta now, everybody knows you were arrested. You may not be convicted, but you were arrested. If something comes up, let your employer know. Definitely if you're convicted of a crime or a felony, you're going to lose your license. So don't beat up anybody on the side or don't get into domestic violence. It's not worth it to lose your license, lose your livelihood. Just think about you have a license to protect and you're a grown, mature adult. So don't do anything stupid that's going to get you arrested. More about this chapter, about being a good employee, following your job description, knowing your job role, knowing your code of conduct, following good ethics. We talked about this earlier on, but again, review it in chapter 2. Okay? If you have any questions, you can let me know.